J equals J 2.0 podcast. I'm here with Rahala Salid.
That's racist. Hi, I'm Joseph.
And I'm Jordan, and
I'm here with Bahama Daddy over
Bahama,
here.
yeah. Well, I would say that I would be Dodson, but see, no one cares.
Yeah.
That's a Jurassic Park reference, actually.
Oh, I understand.
Dodson, we have Dodson here. See, no one cares.
I understand what you're doing now.
Okay.
I was completely lost, but that's okay.
I'm glad you understand that now. We're back. We're in a different setting once again. And, once again. No, actually, we were in the same two settings.
This is
the first different setting.
Technically, this is the first different setting because
But the second, because, well, we are re-recording the Avatar podcast. We are here. Why are we wearing silly hats, Joseph?
Because they were here.
They were here, yeah. I've had this hat for a while, and then I got that fez at the History Museum, and Joseph really liked it, so.
I thought it combined nicely with my glasses, so.
It actually does.
Thank you.
You look like you're getting ready to
I look like I'm ready to sell something.
salmon fish in the Yemen.
Mm.
Which is actually a very good movie. I watched that on a plane when I was traveling. It's a very good movie. Salmon fishing in the Yemen. Has Obi-Wan Kenobi in it.
Oh.
And Emily Blunt.
Must be good.
Yes, it's very good.
You know, speaking of movies I watched recently, I finally saw Into the Spider-Verse a couple days ago.
Did you?
What a movie, dude.
Really?
What a movie.
Man, I got to get around to watching it, too.
You got to see it, man. It is good.
I've heard only good things about that movie. Literally, people like it more than some of the other Spider-Man movies that have come out. So
yeah, and it's definitely up there.
Yeah,
I love what it did.
I got around to, what did I watch? I watched Mad Max Fury Road for the first time in a while the other day.
One of my favorites, actually.
Very good movie. I didn't really understand it well, and I wasn't that big of a fan of it when it first came out. But going back and watching it, I didn't have a different taste for movies and a different outlook on movies now. So going back and watching it, it's really great. There's some problems with the ADR, the voiceovers and stuff like that. But other than that, the movie is it is a spectacle.
It really is.
That's for sure. Just the story it tells,
the settings, the
world,
the going back to the practical effects and stuff, like the whole bike, like they literally had like bike ramps that they would do over the big rig and stuff, and they'd like drop, not as explosive as in the movie, but like drop like mini explosions and stuff. It was dope to see the practical side. I
don't want to be, Furiosa. I don't want to be Tom Hardy. I want to be the dude that was shredding guitar. Top of the
best guy.
That guy.
The best guy.
That guy. Oh my gosh, he was the best part of that movie. I'm just gonna say it. He's just on top. He's
that
just
moment.
Like, they literally carry around their own theme music.
Yeah, that moment where it's like, it's like the battle march for them, and then when he hits the chord and the flames spurt out, it's like, it's like best moment.
The best
in
job ever, man. He gets to be Emerton Joe's guitarist. That's pretty sick.
Right? But what we're going to talk about, though, is very opposite from Mad Max, where Mad Max is the king of adding practical effects to the world. Avatar is the king of CGI, and technically still the box office.
Technically still, sadly.
Just barely. I think they're going to do a little re-release, right? Of Endgame.
I thought they already had. Maybe that is yet to be.
Because there was going to be one with the after credit scene. I don't think it's come out yet.
Yeah, it hasn't come out yet. Maybe. But the reason we're talking about Avatar is because we both agree. We watched Avatar a while back again just to refresh ourselves with the movie, and we both think that the movie, it's kind of unfortunate. The only reason it is still known and still talked about today is because Endgame is close to passing it. So this is going to be kind of a recap, if you will, of Avatar and what really the movie is about, and if it's really stood up to its name.
Is it? Well, I mean, I don't know how you stand up to the name Avatar. It's just kind of it's just a word. Like,
I mean, yeah, it is just a word. Has it stood the test of time? Is it still entertaining? why it's still somewhat entertaining.
But we don't know if it is entertaining.
We don't know.
We don't know. What if it's not entertaining? We can't even answer the third question if we say no to the second.
What do we think of it, I guess, is what you could say. I don't know. It was kind of sad to me. We Googled Avatar, just the word Avatar, and news about Endgame came up.
Yeah, because that's the race right now.
Nothing actually about Avatar came up. Everything about Endgame came up. And the reason is because Endgame, as Joseph said, is approaching. It's just got about maybe 20 million left, or maybe 200 million left.
It's an amount. I'm not going to pretend I know the specific amount, but it's not much.
I know Avatar sits at about right around 2.7 billion right now. A little close to 2.8. And Endgame is has crept up to 2.75.
Okay.
So it's like
it's getting in that range.
It's real close, and they're doing a re-release solely for the purpose of passing in Avatar at the box office, which is
I'm curious. The fact that it's like it's an after credit scene that's being added, which is kind of the staple of Marvel movies for the longest time. I'm curious if that was specifically planned.
I don't know.
Say, hey, just in case we don't beat it in the first round, we're going to have this as a backup for a re-release to get a second boost of money.
And it kind of is all about, like, money, in a sense. And it's kind of sad because, like, Endgame is immensely more popular than Avatar ever was or ever will be. Okay? Not from a money standpoint. Okay? Even if Endgame does not end up beating Avatar, because it's still got a lot of money to make.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I don't know if it might not get there. We've always talked like it's gonna get there, but an extra.
I have faith, but
I do have faith, but it's like there is a chance that it might come up short, and I don't know if an extra in your credit scene is going to make that push, earn that extra cash. Which again, like, I still plan on going back to see it before it goes out of theaters. So, like, it'll get, with Regal prices, good Lord, it'll get another probably $20 out of me. So, I just think, the movie, I feel like they're trying to prove something, and there's nothing to prove.
Yeah, and the big difference is that Avatar's rewatchability was that we had never seen something on the scale and power visually that it was. Literally never in cinema had we seen something that intense. That it was the first real good 3D movie. It was a lot of visual firsts. Excuse me. Whereas Endgame, the thing is that its story was the vital part. Now, mind you, it has some great visual moments, some great fight scenes, some great emotional scenes you want to see again. But it's not. It's like watching Avatar is almost like going on a roller coaster ride when it came out. It's like, oh wow, all these new experiences in film. Whereas Endgame is a story.
Yeah,
and when you know the ending to a story, it changes how you watch it.
It's a piece to a puzzle, right? It's that final piece, and you don't know what shape it is. You don't know how it's gonna fit, and it certainly did fit, obviously. But Avatar was new, and Avatar was fresh. There was nothing before it that really, like, as you said, had been done before, really on that scale. And I will say, me and Joseph went back and watched it. It still is an amazing movie from a visual standpoint.
Yeah, no, I still love seeing it.
It's aged very well. Some movies, Avatar came out in 2009. We were 12. You might have been 13 because you're
12 or 13.
12,
yeah.
13.
I turned 23 earlier this month.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday. I told you happy birthday on your day. But yeah. I told you happy birthday on your birthday. I'm not late. I'm not a terrible, inconsiderate friend. So anyway, never thought I would get to shake the hand of a shake. I don't even know if that's the right. I don't even know if they wear fezzes.
I don't think that's right at all, but I appreciate it.
It works. I wanted to say
I appreciated that. I actually did.
I don't even know what I was saying. Oh yeah, Avatar came out in 2009, so it is 10 years old now. And some movies that are 10 years old have not aged that well.
No.
But Avatar has aged extremely well. It still looks as great as it did when it came out. We watched it in Blu-ray too,
Yeah.
so it still looks as great as it did when it came out all those years
I was
ago.
really impressed that it did age as well as it did, because there's almost this assumption in my head nowadays that something visually groundbreaking that came out 10 years ago or whatever is gonna look sloppy in some form, or that some of these newer movies that come out with some crazy heavy effects, that like I'll see something that I'm like, ooh, that wasn't so hot, and it'll be I'll just be like, oh, my brain's just picking that out because I'm used to it by now.
Yeah.
But it's actually not true in the sense of, like, I think about The Hobbit, for instance, and some of the less than good effects on White Orc and the fire and stuff. The fire scene, like, to me, it looked like good PS3 graphics in that scene. Like, it was not good.
And that was the way they filmed it.
Yeah,
too.
that was a lot of that was frame rate.
It was frame rate too, but still.
But I kind of assumed in my head that, like, there might be moments like that in Avatar. I had assumed that because I was like, oh, my brain just didn't know at the time what to look for, that kind of thing. My eyes weren't as smart. But it's actually no, like, the effects are solid as all get out. Like, it's actually really nicely done.
And I think what we determined is, the rewatchability, as we always talk about, we think we both kind of agree that what some of the best movies are ones that you can watch over and over again and still be invested and entertained, and for us, kind of, Avatar was missing that note in some senses, mostly in story and in character development. But again, visually, the movie is still incredible. It still looks great. I still really, had a good time going back and watching it. It really, like, the whole the floating mountains and everything that, and cool. All the bioluminescence.
I'm such a sucker for bioluminescence. The touchy
really cool.
plants were so fun.
Oh yeah,
it's like, and you're like you just want to. And that was a good moment of just, like, maybe it doesn't. You could argue his character, or whatever. He would probably know better than to touch bunch of random plants as a former Marine or whatever.
And at the same time, it's kind of
that child wanted to just like
you would do the same thing if you were there.
Yeah,
yes,
like, you're just like, course, oh, this might kill me, but boom.
Yeah, no. So again, visually, the movie looks really cool. What we talk about with rewatchability is, like, can you be invested and entertained each and every time you go back and watch the movie? And so to bring to mind some of my favorite movies and some of the best ones that I think have the most rewatchability and are what makes them so good is I like the Lord of the Rings trilogy, the original Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Not the extended? Or do you mean like...
I mean, like, not the Hobbits.
Right.
Even though the Hobbits are good, I think the best... I'm trying to keep a straight face. I was trying so hard, I couldn't. We did a hat switch real quick, everybody. Oh, wow.
I look like...
oh, my gosh.
I look like... what's his name?
You look like Brunette Lepowski.
Brunette. Oh, man. Oh, what is this? It's like he's like a old rocker country artist or something.
Somebody from the Eagles.
Yeah, right?
Like. I look like a street performer who's struggling to pay off college loans.
I look like I should have drugs on me.
And I can totally sell if it pays off my college loans.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
Avatar, ladies.
Avatar, yeah. As far as talking about the Lord of the Rings, like, each time you go back and watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, you're invested, you're entertained, and even though I know I for one have probably seen it, if not 10 times, pretty close. 10 times over the trilogy. Like, I love it. It's my favorite movie series of all time.
Really good.
And but each time I watch it, I know what the heck happens next, but I still want to see it. I'm still excited for it. I know what happens when Gandalf comes into contact with the Balrog. Like, right, I know what happens.
Right.
But I'm still entertained and at the edge of my seat every time I go back and watch that fight.
Fly, you fools.
Anyway, yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, I agree. I get a similar idea because some of my favorite. Hello, Mike.
Our mic is drunk.
Some of my favorite movies from a rewatchability standpoint go to it's controversial for some people, but I love like Man of Steel and Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition.
I agree completely. We
yeah,
talked
like
about that this morning.
Yeah, we talked about that some this morning for sure.
Yeah.
But I was a pretty hardcore advocate for those. And the reason that one of the reasons I love them is that I feel like every time you watch through, there's a hidden detail or image or something that connects to the broader story. Like some of it is very, some of it is like heavy-handed, not necessarily in a bad way, but just it's very like, oh hey, look at how, Superman has drifted off the ship at this convenient cross position. You know, some of it's a little heavy-handed, but like, I still think it worked. But there's littler details that you'll see of like background images, or when something happens and like it mirrors a different time or something, or even story elements that you missed before, which is something I love, especially in Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. There's so many, like, the story is so connected to itself, and it's so well thought out. There's always another detail to see. And then combine that with fights or something, you know, things like the warehouse scene in Batman's warehouse fight scene that are just will never grow old. I don't care if you watch it a million times.
It's
like,
up there as far as like fight scenes go in movies. It's
just infinitely rewatchable. So I definitely consider that kind of thing. So what I would say Avatar lacks is not the visual side, but and this is nothing new to say it lacks in the story department. But I feel like since we're discussing this in the modern context of 2019 and the talk again of making Avatar sequels and all that coming, it makes me curious where that goes.
Yeah.
Like, is the story gonna be is it gonna be a continuation? If so, what are you continuing?
Yeah, so what Joseph's talking about is there are four more Avatar movies planned. Avatar 2 is supposed to come out in 2021. So that's a while. Again, this movie it's already been 10 years.
Yeah.
And in 2 more years, we'll see another movie, supposedly. They've been pushed back because originally, I think there was supposed to be a 2016.
Was it really originally?
I think so. 2016, and then it got pushed back to 2018, and then I think it got pushed back even further to 2021. Naturally. Yeah. So, and again, I get these movies are a huge undertaking, but okay, I think we're the only ones recently who have sat back down and say, let's rewatch Avatar and try to appreciate it. People, when this movie comes out, people are it's not gonna be oh gosh, I'm so glad that I was 20 when this came out and now I'm 37. You know, like, it's not gonna be a thing where I mean, that's not the number of years, but it's just like literally we went through puberty in between the time that movie came out and now. Right? Like, I actually grew.
Went through puberty and college.
And college, yes, in between those movies. Like, people will have had children in between that movie and the sequel, apparently in 2021. Like, the amount of time that will have lapsed between those two movies is a long time to make it a sequel. Okay? Right. That's and it's the same thing with, what the heck? Like, some of the new Disney movies that are coming out, like Finding Dory. You know, I mean, like, okay, not coming out, that have already come out. Like, Incredibles 2 waited like 14 years.
Yeah.
Finding Dory waited like 12 or 13. So, and it's like they weren't really sequels necessarily. They were just kind of like
Incredibles 2 was a sequel.
Incredibles 2 was a direct sequel.
But I would say
Sorry about that. My computer fell asleep. Everybody.
We're that boring.
They won't. They won't see that, obviously. But
they'll see your beautiful face just coming right towards them.
Yeah, they'll be. But yeah, so Incredibles 2 was a direct sequel, but Finding Dory was. Yeah. I appreciated what Finding Dory did, and we're not going to make this about Finding Dory, but it kind of, it was like.
It's blue.
It was. It was a sequel.
No hair though.
But it. How do you know?
I admittedly I never saw
Dory's
it, so I
father
don't know.
had a receding hairline as a fish. I just want to point that out. Take a look.
Amazing.
Take a look at him. The little black thing that's like usually here on their heads was like back here. He was a balding fish.
That's amazing.
It's great animation. Anyway,
that's amazing.
They did that to where it was kind of like a different story, and it focused on a character that was obviously very beloved from the first one. So like what they did there was really great.
Yeah.
And I thought they did that as a second movie better than Incredibles did. So that's why we're both interested to see what is Avatar going to do. Because again, this movie's going to come out and go. People are going to go, oh yeah, I saw that when I was still in middle school, and I'm 30 now. Like it's like, you know,
it's one of those where they can't do what you just said. It's not like you're going to be like, oh, this is my favorite character from Avatar. I'm so glad to see what they're doing now.
I don't want Jake Sully to wake up in his monkey body at the beginning of Avatar 2. It's been like 12. Have been 12 years by then. That does not need to happen.
You've got to have like a fundamentally different take. If you're going to do the same characters, he needs to have developed far enough down the line that like he's full-on warrior chief over here, like warrior
chief 12 years later.
Yeah,
new conflict on Pandora. Go for it. Like, do something like that. And that's why like
go for something that's not even human. Like don't have humans in the movie for all I care.
Yeah,
or have them just be they're on their trading posts or whatever. Like don't replay the whole humans trying to take over the thing.
Yeah, I mean literally humanity was kicked off the planet at the end of the Avatar movie. There should not be any humans unless it's a flashback. Okay, in Avatar 2. So it's really interesting what they're going to do with that. I trust them. And I'm going to be interested to see when this movie does come out. I don't know, me and Joseph, maybe we'll freaking have children by then or something. But, I'm just kidding. Not 2 years.
Not with each other, mind you. No, that's not possible for starters.
Yep. We'll have our own little Avatar babies. Yeah.
They'll
be right. Blue and wear thongs or whatever the heck they wear in Avatar, thongs. And they'll do things with their hails. They'll be like Sahelu, and then they'll go like with their tails. That's my shoe. I don't know why I just
we'll do the here I'll do my thing. I'll do my official Avatar thing.
Oh my gosh. I don't have enough, so I'll just take my head and go like that. Anyway, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Avatar 2 tries to do, because they certainly have had enough time to do it.
You know what else is curious to me is
yes.
It'd be one thing to say Avatar 2 is coming out. It really would. But it's not just Avatar 2. It's Avatars 2, 3. I don't want to break your glasses. I really don't want to break your glasses. It's not working. There you go. It's Avatars 2 through 5.
Yeah.
Which implies... Oh, I can't even see the monitor anymore.
I can't see crap. It is dark and everything is blurry. And
yeah. It's bright and everything is blurry.
You look like an accountant that's on his timeshare right now.
Yeah. He's just like chilling at the beach.
And then I'm just you earlier, but shaved and with short hair.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Oh man, how do you see?
How do you see? Yeah.
It's like I'm wearing trunk goggles right now.
I see you with those. That's what I see.
I have like hyper focus like right here.
You're gonna get cataracts from looking through those glasses for so long.
This is impressive. If I get like right here, the mic looks like it's in this extra clear crystal HD.
Yeah, same. It's just dark and.
Oh wow. My eyes legitimately had to refocus there when I left. That was
goodness.
That was intense.
I'm feeling that in my Sahelu. That doesn't even make sense.
Oh,
we did find out that avatars mate with their tails.
Yes.
That's actually a thing. I googled it because I was bored after we watched the movie. We just wanted to know how it worked. They go like.
I mean, and then there's like I already knew.
There's like,
but
there's like Awa,
He's involved.
Nature. I thought it was a she.
She.
Yeah, it was like Mother Nature.
Yeah, Mother Nature.
Yeah.
It's just Nature's why.
So yeah. So again, doesn't lack in visuals, lacks in story. What is Avatar? Well, it's Pocahontas in space, for one thing. Literally Pocahontas. A bunch
Colors
of
of the Wind took him really literally.
A bunch of foreigners. A bunch of foreigners invade a planet. This time, John Smith is just handicapped, and he becomes one with the people and rebels against his human counterparts.
Frailty.
And
there's a scientist involved.
There is a scientist involved. There's trees are important, and of course there's a talking tree in Pocahontas, and it's Pocahontas in space, and the natives end up winning. And
technically it's not in space. Technically it's just technically everywhere is kind of in space, but it has its own atmosphere. So
it's otherworldly Pocahontas.
It's sci-fi. Get your terms right.
It's Pandora-Hontas.
Pandora-Hontas. That actually sounds pretty cool. I'd watch Pandora-Hontas.
Yeah, and I think the characters too. One thing we said was the characters are very one-dimensional.
Oh, I was doing it wrong before. Sorry, let me.
Oh my God!
There. Now I look like something.
Still on his timeshare. You just turned your hat back. So
I look like one of those like guys that's really good. Like he's like a classic rocker. He's got really good with the guitar.
You just don't have 6 women around you,
right? And he's just like a little past his prime, but he's still killer at everything.
He once played for ELO,
right? And he's just like chilling out at the beach, drinking buds or something, like something. Very specifically, some really lame beer, like
Natural Light or whatever it is. The one that's like always sold in gas stations. That one,
exactly. He's got like some sponsorship that they never use.
Yeah,
like...
and then his Arabian servant brings him food. Anyway, that's pretty much how that goes.
Yeah, it's white. All right. I'm confused.
You kept me inside too long, so I'd have to get back out and tan. Anyway,
oh man, that's how that works.
That is exactly how that works.
We know basic human biology.
Speaking of basic humans, talk about the characters in Avatar, huh? literally, one of the men is I'm gonna zoom in my face when we do the edit. I'm gonna zoom in on my face when I do.
Yeah. Every time. Right?
I actually used to sound like that when I was little and had asthma. Anyway, sorry, that was kind of dark.
I'm trying to remember that, and I don't. And I'm a little disappointed.
A little disappointed. Wow. When your best friend wishes he could remember you having asthma,
like a major asthmatic. Yeah, I'm interested, dude.
You remember the penguin from Toy Story 2? That was me.
Oh, that's sad.
Literally wheezy.
Oof.
So
out here just singing about Beverly Hills and
does he sing about Beverly Hills?
Because you're a Weezer. You're.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm a washed up 90s band. Okay. I'm just kidding. They aren't washed up.
They're pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, they are pretty cool.
Their Toto cover was always nailed.
Yes, it was.
It was great.
That's amazing. That's a good cover. Big fan of Island in the Sun. It's a real chill song. Good to listen to at the beach. Anyway, characters in Avatar. Literally one of them is a G.I. Joe. He has combat boots, camo pants that are tucked into his combat boots, a tank top, he's buff, and he has a crew cut.
Don't forget the classic giant scar on his face.
A giant scar on his face is, "You're not in Kansas anymore. You're on Pandora.
Yeah, we're on Pandora.
Everything that eats, sleeps, and squats in the mud will kill you and eat your eyes for jujubes.
And they'll love it too." I don't remember anything else he says, so I can't do it.
Yeah, that's the one line I remember.
The thing that you pointed out was the best part of the entire sequences with him was that when the first time you meet him on base, he just has this little cage. It's apparently just very specifically his personal gym.
Yes,
it's just in the middle of the hangar.
It's in the middle of the hangar. There's like mechs and jets all around him, and then it just cuts to him, and he's just like, "With this gravity on Pandora, you get soft. You get soft." And he's like benching, he's just straight repping out 300 pounds, and it's just it's so stupid.
But it made so much sense.
But it's so cool. It's like, who else but the G.I. Joe would have a gym in the middle of the hangar, right?
Mm-hmm. It was perfect.
you get soft, and he's just pumping it out while this dude's sitting there in the wheelchair. Like, yeah, I want to be an Avatar.
I want to be an Avatar.
That's kidding. That's not what Jake Sully sounds like. But yeah, so that really hardcore G.I. Joe guy. You have the tough female character played by Michelle Rodriguez, which
she was actually pretty dope.
She was pretty dope, but that's the only character she's ever played in her entire acting career, I feel like.
Also fair.
Yeah. She is basically her character in the Fast and Furious franchise. She's tough, and she, like, I don't know, eats, like, shingles for breakfast or what. Yeah, exactly, with no milk.
I feel like I would love to see, like, her and, as like a two sisters kind of thing. Her and like Tessa Thompson, is that her name? Valkyrie and
Tessa Thompson or Charlize Theron.
Yeah. But like specifically, yeah, like I would love to see like her and Tessa like do like a femme fatale duo thing. Like I feel like that would be super cool. They'd nail it.
Yeah, they would. Very much alike. I like Tessa Thompson better. I think she's got more character depth in her acting, but yeah, I mean the best character in my opinion in Avatar is Sigourney Weaver, because she kills every role. Everything she does, she is just amazing in. But I feel like her character, I mean, like, she's such a strong on-screen presence. I don't know how to describe it. I liked her character. I really did, and I feel like it came, full circle for her. She started out being completely, just like rude and kind of crass to Jake Sully.
Yeah,
and then kind of coming around and realizing his potential.
Yeah.
Ultimately dying.
Big rip.
Yeah, big rip.
Spoiler
alert from 10 years ago. You should have seen it by now. But yeah, I don't know. I liked her character. Her character to me was solid. Very consistent, but also like had a purpose.
Yeah.
But didn't get to really fulfill that purpose because of her sacrifice in a way. So I don't know. Her character was my favorite, but I felt like everybody else was just kind of dry and flat. And it was the visuals that really carried the movie, because the story, first of all, the movie's too long. Movie's very long.
It is a very long movie.
Very long.
For the lack of story it has,
it's about the same length as Infinity War, and Infinity War is a 2 hour and 45-minute movie that's about an hour and a half. It's
a 2 hour 45-minute movie that like packs every minute of it into itself.
It feels like if you don't feel like you've been sitting there for almost 3 hours when you watch Infinity War.
Yeah.
Avatar, you feel like you've been sitting there for like 4. It's like you could have watched like one of the Lord of the Rings extended edition movies
in the time that
which run about like 4.5 hours. So, it has a lot of problems, but I'm not gonna say it doesn't deserve the money that it made and that the success that it brought on. I think it definitely did something that no movie had ever done. It was ambitious and it paid off, and it's still cool to watch. And yeah, man, I think it's still a good movie worth it. And aside from the story and the characters,
and I think that even with the one-dimensionality of the characters, it is still fun in its own way to have such a G.I. Joe of a bad guy. And
he's cool. I'm not gonna lie. I love Stephen Lang and everything, but yeah.
I feel like he like that guy. I feel like he's what's his name? Neil McDonough's like dad or something.
Yeah.
It's like Neil. It's just there's him. Then I would love to see them play like a father son or something.
Yes.
Like that would be perfect. And then again, in my opinion, anything with Neil McDonough is gonna be absolutely amazing.
The G.I. Joe guy is cool, though.
Yeah,
he really is.
No, he is. He is.
He literally, like, there's one part where Jake Sully and them were, like, taking off in a chopper. They had just escaped, I don't know, incarceration or whatever. I don't know. But he, like, chases them outside.
Yeah, with the mask.
With a pistol. No, he doesn't even grab a mask. That's right, he doesn't grab a mask because he, like, shoots through the window of the laboratory, which then floods. Everybody's, like, with the mask on. He just goes like that and holds his breath, walks outside with a magnum, and just starts shooting at the helicopter. Ends up hitting Sigourney Weaver. He kills Sigourney Weaver.
Gets Sigourney.
And finally, someone comes out there with a mask on, with their own mask on. There's like, Chief, here, take the mask. And he literally is just like,
Right.
like holding his breath, and I was like, this dude is so hardcore. He's so cool. Oh man, I did like his character though.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a stereotypical GI Joe commando boy. Like he was pretty freaking cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that brings me into like what I want from, if we're gonna get a whole series of Avatar movies, what we need is one, we need to see a different part of Avatar. Right, you all right? You want it back?
Fine, I'm good.
Beautiful. We need a different part of Avatar. We need, if Avatar has a desert, show us that. If it has, show us underwater Avatar. Show us, something different besides forest Avatar.
I would love to see underwater Avatar.
I should be saying Pandora. The planet is not called Avatar, but show us a different part of Pandora that has a different locale. Show us and give us characters that are exotic as the place.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you had, like, story is not even the most important part to me, because this is clearly not a story-based place. If you give us the good locales and the characters to match, I think you'll do fine.
Mm-hmm. And apparently James Cameron did shoot footage in the Marianas Trench.
That's right.
For Avatar. He shot footage back in 2012. I think it was in 2012. He shot, for Avatar 2, he shot footage 7 miles under the ocean in the Marianas Trench, which is deepest point on Earth.
Underwater stuff is spooky, dude.
Yeah, it is. So he shot stuff for that. And I think it'll be interesting to see, like, what he does with that. Because for sure he's going to use that. But, again, that's what I always wanted. Like, Avatar is so cool on land.
Yeah.
Like, what do the freaking fish look like? Like, what's going on underwater? There's got to be underwater tribes. There has to be. So it's like there's so much they can do with it. I just hope
turns out it's the fish people from what was that Guillermo del Toro movie?
Shape of Water?
Yeah, the Shape of Water. It's like the fish people from Shape of Water. They're blue too.
Careful now, this is going to be a plot leak. Oh my gosh.
They're blue too. They have a struggle adapting to interacting with humans. They have...
I want you to write the script. I'm calling James and I'm telling him, like, my buddy has a good idea.
This is happening.
I'm going to tell you this.
The strange obsession with interspecies.
If you threw that at Guillermo del Toro, he would run with it. The dude loves stuff like that. Dude,
Del Toro is a beast.
What a visionary. What a guy. Him and James should get together with Joseph and do
clearly this. On par.
Yes.
Man.
So yeah, no. Pretty short one today. But I mean, like, if we are wrapping up, I feel like Avatar is still a good movie. We're not bashing on it or anything. It definitely has stood the test of time visually. But I think,
the question is, will it
what's going to happen next?
Will it live in a movie, in a universe-based cinematic culture?
Yeah. Will there be what's been established, what was established back in 2009 is a world that people really love, is a world that people could definitely go for. It's only appropriate to end in the same fashion that we started, isn't it?
Exactly.
We have a world, created this world of Pandora. I'm afraid of heights, but I want to go scampering on the Hallelujah Mountains,
I want to with the harness.
That's a good idea. Yeah. Well, if I was a giant blue monkey in a thong, I think I would like it much better. But anyway, that's not how I am. But I really think that if they play their cards right, and if they've taken all the time to put this thing together, apparently it's being filmed now. And post-production of this thing is probably going to take just as long as filming.
Yeah.
So,
at least.
So, what's established is a universe that people really fell in love with back in 2009. And I think that... I'm just sitting here playing with my shoe, guys. I'm sorry. I really think that they can run with it and make something great out of it, again, if they do it right. And I think they can. And I am absolutely going to go see it. when it comes out. I remember I was just for reference how long it's been. I just graduated. Dang it! Sorry about that, guys. Our computer fell asleep again. It's my laptop. It's whatever. I was in 7th grade when the movie came out, y'all. I just graduated college. If that tells you anything how long it's been since this movie came out. I literally went through high school and college in between the times that these movies will be released. So, don't really know. Hopefully the Avatars come out. I feel like they need to let this second one come out, see how it does. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then see if, they can run with it and continue on with 3, 4, and 5. Because if 2 doesn't hit on much, I mean, I wouldn't continue
it's the
to.
thing of budget of these are going to be expensive movies. If they can't make it back, it's not going to live.
Yeah, it's not going to live, and I really hope it does.
I do too.
I want to see more from Avatar visually. If they can get match the visuals, get that story right. Oh my goodness, dude, you've got some good stuff.
You've got some solid pieces. If you can just add to what you've done, the key is adding.
Mm-hmm.
You can't rehash anything because people will be bored of it.
Yeah.
You've got to complete the package.
New story, introduce some new characters, but keep in the old characters that we fell in love with, because apparently they've stuck to this contractual obligation. Because, I mean, Zoe Saldana's in it, and Jake Sully's in it, and some of the other people are in it as well. So his name's not Jake Sully. It's Sully. No, what's his guy's real name?
I have no idea.
Sam Worthington.
Oh, yeah, I knew that.
Sam Worthington. Apparently everybody's back in it. So, I just hope, and I think they will, because, I mean, James Cameron is he's a good director. He's a good movie maker. He's a visionary. I think he trust him.
Yeah.
Long story short, I trust him.
We'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes.
Yep.
Next meme.
Like the Joker clap. He's like,
all right.
I believe.
He's got like his...
Anyway,
why did we ever get a camera?
I don't know. Yeah, we're using a new webcam that we that we got yesterday, and it's gonna help us a lot because I don't have to use this thing anymore to do video. And we also have a new mic now that the audio quality, I mean, I love my little Snowball that we've been using, but
this thing is nice.
This thing is nice.
Really nice.
The Snowball will stay though. We'll pull out the Snowball every now and then. It is kind of cute.
It is cute.
And you can pet it some.
Yeah, you can hear
yeah.
me. Let me just...
Yeah, Joseph's going to get the Snowball. Bring it in. That's Joseph's butt.
Not a paid ad, by the way.
No, not at all.
Just look, you can just...
Yeah, it's a sweet little thing, and it goes, hello. Yeah.
How do we always manage to get an ASMR session in every video?
I don't know.
Hear that?
I'm gonna go squeeze some fruit into this mic anyway.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? I'm gonna get real tingles in post. It's gonna be weird.
Oh my gosh. People have stopped watching 5 minutes ago already. Yeah. But yeah, really excited for the upcoming Avatar movies, and it'll be interesting to see if Endgame ends up beating it out, but I definitely think that Avatar has stood the test of time, and I'm really proud of it.
Me too, Jordan. Me too.
Yeah.
And that's all for tonight's newscast. It will be great to see you all next time. Come join us on J=J.
Back to you, Tina.
Channel 2.0. Back to you, Tina. Is that the ending?
We're gonna cut there.
Yes, we're absolutely cutting there.